Imagine waking up to the sunrise on a vast farm in the golden fields of California. The air is still fresh from the early morning, and the sky begins to take on orange and pink hues, while the first rays of sunlight gently touch the leaves of the plantations that stretch as far as the eye can see. Amid this bucolic setting, there is a constant, rhythmic sound coming from the greenhouses in the distance. The soft hum of drip irrigation systems, the quiet fans that keep the air circulating, and the almost imperceptible symphony of technology working in harmony with nature. It is in this environment, which seems to have come out of an agricultural dream of the future, that one of the most surprising and often underestimated crops in modern agriculture is born: the eggplant. Yes, the same eggplant that enriches traditional and modern dishes, that appears in recipes passed down from generation to generation, and that, for many, is just another item on the weekly shopping list. But behind every perfectly purple glossy eggplant is a fascinating story, a story of innovation, dedication, technology, and a deep connection to the land. In the United States, more than 14 million pounds of high-quality eggplants are grown each year. This number alone is impressive. But it becomes even more remarkable when we realize that this volume is not the result of chance. It is the direct result of a joint effort involving scientists, agricultural engineers, experienced farmers, and an agricultural ecosystem increasingly focused on sustainability and efficiency. These eggplants do not come from ordinary outdoor plantings, subject to the vagaries of weather and pests. No. They are born in state-of-the-art greenhouses, true cathedrals of glass and metal, where every element of the environment is monitored and adjusted with surgical precision. These greenhouses, spread across more than 1,500 acres in California, Florida, and Arizona, are more than just physical structures. They are symbols of the new era of agriculture. Equipped with smart sensors, automated irrigation and climate control systems, balanced artificial lighting, and advanced cultivation strategies, these facilities demonstrate how the marriage of science and agricultural tradition can generate extraordinary results. Every inch of these greenhouses is carefully planned. Temperatures are kept within an ideal range, and that means controlling even the smallest degree of Fahrenheit to ensure that the plants are always in their optimal environment. Humidity is also monitored in real time, as even small variations can influence the growth and quality of the fruit. Light, a vital element for photosynthesis, is strategically manipulated, with LED lamps with adjustable spectrum that mimic natural sunlight when it is lacking. All of this is done with a clear goal: to ensure that each eggplant harvested is an example of excellence, both in terms of flavor and nutritional value. And it's not just about technology alone. Behind each automated system is a watchful farmer, with eyes trained by years, often decades, of experience. These professionals know the soil, understand plant behavior, observe subtle signs of water stress or excess nutrients, and know exactly when it's time to intervene or let nature take its course. It is this combination of traditional knowledge and modern tools that allows American agriculture to produce food on such a large scale without compromising on quality. Inside these greenhouses, eggplants are grown using meticulous techniques. The first step is to select the seeds, disease-resistant varieties that are adapted to the controlled environment and have desirable characteristics in terms of texture, flavor, and color. Once planted, the seedlings are closely monitored from the moment they first sprout. Drip irrigation, a system that delivers water directly to the roots with millimeter precision, not only saves water resources, but also prevents moisture from accumulating on the leaves, preventing fungal diseases. Nutrients are delivered along with the water, in a process known as fertigation, ensuring that each plant receives exactly what it needs at each stage of its development. As the plants grow, they are trained to prevent their branches from breaking under the weight of the fruit. Selective pruning techniques are employed to ensure that the plant's energy is channeled into producing healthy, uniform eggplants. The fruits are harvested by hand, taking care not to damage the plant and to preserve the integrity of the eggplant. After harvest, each unit is carefully inspected, graded and packaged, ready to make its way to the market and onto consumers' tables. But why invest so much in a single vegetable? The answer is simple. Eggplants have become a star in the modern diet. Rich in fiber, antioxidants, B vitamins and minerals such as potassium and magnesium, they are valuable allies in promoting cardiovascular health, regulating blood sugar levels, and fighting free radicals. In addition, their versatility in cooking, whether in baked, grilled, sautéed, or even breaded dishes, has made them indispensable in kitchens around the world. From traditional French ratatouille to Greek moussaka, from Brazilian stuffed eggplant to Middle Eastern baba ganoush, this fruit has adapted and shined in different cultures and recipes. And the modern consumer, increasingly aware of their food choices, seeks products that combine flavor, health, and sustainability. Eggplants grown in high-tech greenhouses offer all of this. In addition to being free of pesticide residues, thanks to the controlled environment, which eliminates the intensive use of chemical pesticides, they are produced with energy and water efficiency, respecting the limits of the planet. In many of these systems, water is even reused through filtration and disinfection processes, drastically reducing waste. Solar energy and other renewable sources are beginning to gain ground in these projects, consolidating the position of greenhouses as models of sustainable production. When we tell this story, we are not just talking about eggplants. We are, in fact, talking about the future of food. A future where technology does not replace the farmer, but empowers him. Where food is not mass-produced in an impersonal way, but cultivated with care and intelligence. Where the farm is not just an open field, but a complex and harmonious ecosystem, where every detail matters, from the type of soil used to the life cycle of the pollinators that visit the flowers. This future is already being built, plant by plant, fruit by fruit, in greenhouses across the United States. And it's not limited to eggplants. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, strawberries, all of these foods are also being produced with the same attention to detail, with the same principles of respect for nature and commitment to quality. The lesson we learned from eggplant is just the beginning. It shows us that it is possible to feed millions of people responsibly, without sacrificing flavor, tradition, and food safety. So the next time you pick up an eggplant at the supermarket or at the corner store, look at it with new eyes. It's not just an ingredient. It's the result of a journey that begins long before it reaches your kitchen. A journey of innovation, sweat, science, and love for the land. It's a testament to the fact that even in a fast-paced, challenging world, we can still choose a path that's more conscious, more human, and more connected to our roots. That's the beauty of modern agriculture, bringing together the past and the future in every harvest. And in the bright eggplants that now grace so many tables, we find a symbol of that balance, a tasty reminder that true revolution begins in the field. In the heart of a modern farm, where technology goes hand in hand with love for the land, one of the most careful and fascinating journeys in contemporary agriculture is born: the cultivation of eggplants in greenhouses. And although for many this process may seem technical or far from everyday reality, it carries with it a life cycle that reveals not only the beauty of nature in action, but also the human effort dedicated to feeding people with quality, responsibility, and passion. It all begins long before any fruit appears. In fact, the starting point of this story is the seed, that small capsule of life that carries within it the potential for something great. During the first few days, usually between 7 and 14, this seed remains quiet, hidden under a layer of carefully prepared substrate. There, under the protection of a controlled, silent, and warm environment, it begins its magical transformation. It is as if the earth is talking to it, offering heat, humidity, and nutrients, encouraging it to awaken and stretch its first roots. Germination is an intimate spectacle of nature, invisible to the naked eye, but essential for everything that follows. When these tiny seedlings reach about 10 to 15 centimeters and proudly display their first 3 or 4 true leaves, leaves that emerge like victory flags in the field of life. It is time for the next step. They are carefully transplanted to the main greenhouse, a kind of agricultural sanctuary where everything is planned to allow them to grow strong, healthy, and productive. Inside the greenhouse, every detail is thought out with almost artisanal precision. The seedlings are not simply thrown into the ground. They are placed in pots on a layer of rock wool, a special material made from melted volcanic rocks and transformed into fibers, which provides a stable and at the same time aerated support for the roots to develop safely. This environment provides the perfect balance between water retention, drainage, and oxygen supply, allowing the roots to feel at home and expand with confidence. Immediately after planting, the first waterings are done with care, almost as a gesture of welcome. It is not a heavy rain, but a gentle humidity, enough to help the plant establish itself in its new home. And from then on, the greenhouse environment comes into play like a true maestro. The temperature needs to be kept within an ideal range, between 20 degrees and 30 degrees, while the relative humidity of the air is between 60% and 70%. These numbers, which to many may sound technical, are in fact the secret to the plants developing to their full potential. As time goes by, the seedlings grow into robust plants. When they reach 30 to 40 centimeters, it is time to provide physical support for this growth. Support ropes are carefully attached to the stems with soft clips, designed not to damage the plant tissue. These ropes are then fixed to trellises on the greenhouse ceiling, creating a support system that resembles the care a gardener takes with his most precious vines. It is as if we are teaching the plant to grow upright, with dignity, preventing it from sagging under the weight of its own fruits, or from leaning uncontrollably. This system not only ensures that the plants do not fall over, but also significantly improves their exposure to light, as well as allowing more efficient air circulation between the branches. This natural ventilation is crucial to prevent diseases and maintain ideal conditions for flowering. Constant monitoring, almost daily, is essential. Farmers and technicians walk between the rows, carefully observing whether it is time to loosen a tie, adjust a rope, or correct some small detail. Nothing goes unnoticed in this environment of precision and care. And then, like magic, about 6 to 8 weeks after planting, the first flowers appear. Delicate, with a charming light purple tone, with yellow stamens like small suns inside, these flowers announce the next stage, fruiting. But for the miracle of the fruit to happen, pollination must occur successfully. In greenhouses, this can be done naturally, with the help of bees that are introduced to this environment, or through manual interventions, where humans, once again, collaborate directly with nature, carrying out pollination with delicate instruments and almost surgical touches. Once pollinated, the flowers begin to transform. Slowly, the floral center swells, changes texture, and gains volume. The eggplant is being born there, at first pale, discreet, almost shy, and then taking on its vibrant color, a deep purple tone that looks like it was hand-painted. This process takes 2 to 4 weeks after flowering and requires intense energy from the plant. For this reason, part of the farmer's job is to perform selective pruning, removing the lower quality fruits, so that the plant can focus its efforts on those that really have potential. When the fruits reach their ideal size, usually firm, with smooth and shiny skin, it is a sign that they are ready to be harvested. This is a critical stage, and timing is essential. Harvesting too early can result in a less tasty fruit. Harvesting too late, in turn, compromises the texture and freshness. For this reason, harvesting usually takes place in the early hours of the morning, when the weather is still mild and the eggplants still retain all the freshness accumulated during the night. The harvesting process is almost a ritual. Using special scissors, the eggplants are removed from the plant with precise cuts, always taking care not to damage either the fruit or the mother plant, which will continue to produce in subsequent cycles. This detail is important. Each plant can